Okay, so we're going to look at percentages. So writing as a percentage. So general, percentage means per 100. So cent 100, so percentage per 100. So any percentage can be written as a fraction of 100. That's generally what a percentage breaks down to, is a fraction of 100. So we might be able to break them down into smaller fractions, we might be able to rewrite them as something else, there might be a better fraction to write it as, but in theory every percentage can be written as a fraction of 100. So 20% is 20 over 100. To change a fraction into a percentage, we multiply by 100. Same with a decimal. To change a decimal into a percentage, we multiply by 100. To write a percentage as a fraction, we divide by 100, or we write it as a fraction over 100. Same with change a percentage to a decimal, we divide it by 100, change that to a decimal. So to find a percentage of a given quantity, we can either change the percentage to a fraction and multiply by that, or we can use the percentage button on our calculator, which is press shift and an answer button on the Casio calculator. So it might be different on your calculator, and you just should know where it is. Okay, so where it is on your calculator. So if I'm finding 21% of 2000, well, I can do 2000 and I can either do multiply by 21% and use my percentage button on my calculator and get my answer that way, and I get 420, or I can do 2000 multiplied by, change that to a fraction, 21 over 100, I just get the same answer. Okay, so you can see there you either use your percentage button or you don't. Don't do both. Don't change it to a fraction and use the percentage button. Increasing and decreasing. Okay, I'm going quickly through some of these parts because they should be familiar. Getting into some bits here maybe that we just need to make sure we know how to do. So when we're increasing or decreasing with percentages, the first thing we have to do with any of these questions is we work out, with the question that we have, what does this proportion represent in terms of the percentages? So what percentage do we have in the question? So our original amount is always 100%. So the original is 100%, whatever it started with. That might be cost price, that might be the price before you sold it. The original price is 100%. Anything that happens to that might change that percentage. It may increase it or it may decrease it. So for example, if we're told a quantity has been reduced by 4%, then the new quantity would be 96%, because it's that 100% take away the 4% that it's gone down by, because reduce obviously is to go down. If we're told it was increased by 15%, then the new quantity would be 115% of what we had at the first place, what we had in the start. Because originally it's 100%, we've increased it by 15%, so we're now at 115%. So our steps, the key things we need to do, identify what percentage the amount in the question represents. So that's always our first step. What percentage do I have? It's not always 100. We need to know exactly what it is. Set up our equation, writing our percentage on the left and the amount on the right. I guess that's always the way we're going to do now. I'm doing my left and right and they're probably wrong. But set up the equation with the percentage that we have. Okay, so write a percentage on the left hand side, write the amount that goes with that on the right hand side. We're going to divide to find the value of 1%. So no matter what it is, whether it's 115, whether it's 96, whether it's 82, we divide, okay, to get 1%. Then we will multiply both sides to get the percentage we want. So if we want the total, we'll get 100%. If we want half of it, we'll get 50%. Okay, it depends what we're looking for. Let's see how that looks in action. So a clothing store has a sale where all items are discounted by 20%. If a shirt is currently priced at 25, what was the original price before the discount? So all the items, original price is 100%. It was discounted by 20%, which means that what I have now, the price of any of those items, is actually 80% of what it originally was. So 80% is €25. Okay, so it's gone down by 20%. Remember, original is always 100, it's gone down by 20, so now it's 80%. 80% is €25. I want to find 1%. To do that, I'm going to divide this side by 80. Okay, I'm going to divide this by 80. Have to do the same to the other side. Divide it by 80 also. So 25 divided by 80 gives me, well, it gives me 5 over 16, which is what we'll go with. Okay. So we'll just leave it as a fraction. Okay, we don't have to change it to a decimal, we can leave it as it is. So at the minute I have 80%, so I'm getting 1% and dividing by 80. Now notice that I'm not dividing by 80%, dividing by 80 exactly. Then to get the total amount, I'm going to multiply by 100% because I want to know what was the original amount, what was the total in the first place, what was the 100% value. So 100% is, and I take my answer, I multiply by 100, I get 31.25 as my original amount. Looking at the next one, same idea, a stock price increased by 25%. If the new price is €75, what was the original price? So remember, original, 100%. It increased by 25%, so it went up by 25%, which means that what I have is 125%, and that's €75. I'm going to get 1% first. This is coming back to what I was saying in the previous video, where we want to kind of always find that one value, the value of 1. So 75 divided by 125, that's going to give me 3/5 of a euro. And then to get my 100%, I get €60. Okay, I'm doing that to both sides. And I get my €60. So you can see there, the first thing we always need to do is work out, what do I have? What percentage do I have in the question? Then we can find out anything else that we want to from that, once we know that. Something that comes up, of course, with percentages is VAT, and VAT is value added tax, and it's a tax on all items. Okay, it's a tax on all items. And in general, it's included in the price that you pay for an item in Ireland. So in countries like America, it's not actually included. You add your tax on yourself. So obviously you'd be maybe just a bit more, I suppose, quick in coming up with it. So in questions, we might have to find the VAT, or we might have to find the price before the VAT. Okay, so there's two ways we can go, but we're using the same steps, the same idea we have there. VAT is going to either increase the price of the item. Okay, so VAT is going to be added on. It's value added tax. So we might have to find the price once the VAT is added on. We might have to find the price before the VAT was added on, work kind of backwards. So a computer is advertised as costing €600 before VAT. If the VAT rate is 21%, calculate the selling price. So it costs €600 before VAT, so my VAT is 21%. So let's find that 21%. We get €126, and then we're going to add that on to find the selling price, and the selling price is €726. Okay, we can add it on. Another quick way, if you're confident with your fractions and your decimals, 121% would be what I'm looking for. Okay, that number, this was 100%, this was 21%, so this is actually 121%. If I wanted to jump straight to that, I could multiply by 1.21. And that will give me my answer of 726. Now that means I didn't actually find specifically what the VAT is, I just found the selling price. Okay, so it's a quick way to jump straight to the end. If I want to just find immediately what is my selling price, well, it's 121%. Okay, and similarly, you could do it like that. You could do 600 by 121%, because that's what I'm going to get at the end. And I could use my percentage button and do the same idea. And I still get the same answer, 726. Okay, but we'll stick with what's on the left-hand side there, because that's kind of what we're comfortable with, I suppose. A phone costs €800, including VAT at 21%. Find the value of the phone before VAT. Well, the phone originally was 100%. Then we added VAT on, which was 21%. So now it's 121%. So 121% is €800. I'm going to get 1%. How am I going to get 1%? I will divide this by 121. I do the same to the other side. Okay, so 800 divided by 121. Now, I don't want 1%, I would like 100%. So we multiply both sides by 100. And we see what we get. And we get an answer of, not a great answer, 661.16 euro. Okay, 661.16 euro. Okay, so it costs €800, including my VAT of 21%. So that's 121. Find 1, then find 100. Okay, and round it as best we can. Okay, a television costs €380. We're looking at an exam question here. So a television costs €380 before VAT has been added. Find the cost of the television after VAT has been added. So let's just find the value of the VAT. So take my €380, get 21% of it, which is my VAT. Give me me 79.80. And we'll add that on. So 380 plus 79.80 gives me 459.80. Okay, that's my answer for that part. Part B, when VAT of at 21% is included, the price of a laptop increases by €130.20. Find the total cost of the laptop including VAT. So this is a very interesting one. Okay, so when the VAT is included, the price increases by. So notice that it's not increases to, it's increases by. And if we're adding VAT on, the price increases by the amount of the VAT. So what that means for us here is that 21% of it is 130. Now we have two ways we could go with this one here. First of all, we'll find 1%. So 130.20 cents divided by 21, and that gives me 620. Now we could find 100%. So that's what we'll do over here. We'll find 100%, which is going to be 620. And then we will add on our VAT, and we get an answer of 750.20. Okay, and that is the total cost including VAT. The other thing we could do is, well, if the cost is 100% plus my VAT at 21%, then the value of it including the VAT is 121%. So I could go straight to that here. So 6.2 by 121, and I get the same answer, €750.20. So it just depends what the question's actually asking us for. For that one there, we wanted the total cost including the VAT, which is €750.20. A printer is priced at €290.40, including VAT at 21%. Find how much VAT is included in the price of this printer. So we're looking for the actual VAT itself. So for this one, the printer, let's see how much space I have. We'll maybe just use this part here. So the printer at the minute, the €290.40 is the price including the VAT. So that's 121%. I want to find 1%, so I'll divide by my 121 and get 240. Then I'm looking for the VAT. So the VAT is 21%. So let's find the 21% here. And that gives me €50.40. And that's going to be my answer for that part. Okay, so it's important here, I suppose, that we're just making sure that we know exactly what the question's looking for at each step. So here we just wanted to get the VAT. We could use our 100%, find the total amount, then get 21% of it, or we can use this here to jump straight to our answer. The last part then is on September 1st, the standard rate of VAT was reduced from 23 to 21%. A company bought 30 computers in September, all at the same price. The company calculated that it saved €336 due to the reduction in the VAT rate. Find the price of one computer before VAT had been added. Okay. So let's have a look. So breaking that down, the VAT rate was reduced from 23% to 21%. Okay, so from 23% to 21%. A company bought 30 computers. They calculated they saved €336 due to the reduction in the VAT rate. Okay, so what they're saying is they had to pay less VAT. They had to pay less VAT than they expected, and they've saved €336 because of this. Okay, because they had to pay less VAT than they expected. Okay, so let's have a look here. So €336 saved. How much less VAT did they have to pay when it went from 23% to 21%? So that was 2% less VAT. Okay, the 336 that's for the 30 computers. So maybe if we wanted to know for one computer, how much did they save? Well, for one computer, we divide by 30. We get that they saved €11.20. Okay, and what we're surmising, or what we're kind of coming with, is that that must be 2% of the total amount. So 100%, the total cost of the computer, getting 1% first. So 1% would be 5.6. The total percentage, €560. That's a total cost of the computer before any VAT has been added. And we're getting that from the fact that they said they saved money. So they saved 336. They had 30 computers. Okay, one computer costs this much. If they've saved money, they've saved only 2% because the VAT has gone down by that amount. And working that out, then letting that be our 2% gives us then the idea of what could the total amount of the computer be. Okay, something else that comes up a lot with percentages then is percentage profit and loss. Okay, this is something that comes up fairly regularly. So profit is if our selling price is greater than our cost price. A loss is the other way around, if our selling price is less than what it cost us to buy it in the first place. And we can use these to work out percentage profit or percentage loss. When we're doing these, the key thing, over the original cost price, always on the original cost price, unless we're told otherwise, unless we're told to use something different. Percentage profit or percentage loss will be a percentage of the original cost price. We write it as a fraction of the original cost and then we change it to a percentage. So if I purchase a stock for 50, sold it for 60, my profit would be 10 because that's the money that I made. I take my 10, I put it over the original, which is 50, and I change that to a percentage. That's kind of one that we should kind of know, 20%, because 1/5. Same thing here, I sold a jacket for €45, which was a loss of 25%. What price did you buy the jacket for? Okay, so let's have a look at this one. The original cost would be 100%. Same idea that we've always had. The original cost would be 100%. If I sold it at a loss, that means that 75% of the price of it was 45. Let's find 1%. Okay, dividing both sides by 75. Same as we've been doing all along, gives me 3/5. 100%, then the total price of my jacket would be €60. So my total price was €60. I sold it for a loss of 25%. 25% of 60 is a quarter, which is €15. So it checks out then that would be correct. Other parts we need to know. Percentage markup is profit over the original cost. Okay, so that's the one we've been looking at. Percentage profit, markup is profit over the original cost. The percentage of the selling price is called the margin. So if we see margin, that's on selling price, and that's profit over your selling price. So instead of the original, over the selling price instead. So it's just being familiar with those terms. Profit over original cost. The ideas are the same, and what you see with a lot of these questions is the same techniques we're using the whole time, writing them as a fraction. This idea here of finding the value of 1, then finding 100. We've done that in a lot of the questions already. If we look at an exam question, a shopkeeper bought 25 school blazers at €30 each and 25 trousers at €20 each. Find the total cost to the shopkeeper. Okay, so let's see. So focusing first on the blazers, 25 blazers at €30. So let's work out that cost. That cost him €750. Okay, then he also has to add on then the trousers. There's 25 of those, and they were €20 each. So 25 by 20 gives me 500. Adding those together to find the total cost to the shopkeeper gives me €1,250. So that's my total cost. The shopkeeper sells a blazer and the trousers as a set for $89.95. Find her profit on this transaction. Okay, so she sells a blazer and trousers as a set for $89.95. Find her profit on this transaction. Well, one blazer we saw in the first part was €30, or cost €30. One pair of trousers cost €20. So a set should be €50. Now the actual cost of the set that she is selling them for is $89.95. So my profit will be the cost that she's selling them for minus what it actually cost her to buy them, which is going to give me $39.95. So that's the profit that she's making on the sale. So the shopkeeper sells 22 blazer and trouser sets at $89.95 each. She sells the remaining 3 sets at a discount of 20% on the selling price. Find her markup profit as a percentage of cost price on the total transaction. Okay, so 22 of the sets are sold as we've seen there. So her profit on those ones is going to be $39.95 on each of them. So profit on sets at a full price is the 39.95 multiplied by how many she sold, which was 22, and that gives me 878.90. Okay, that was her profit on those original ones. Okay, on those first few sets, €878.90. Okay, so she's making good profit in fairness, because she's charging them at nearly half, nearly double what it cost her. Okay. Then for the next part, she sells the remaining 3 sets at a discount of 20% on the selling price. Okay, so discount. So the selling price is $89.95. She's selling them at a discount of 20%. So let's find out what that discount is. So we work out $17.99. Okay, $17.99. So let's take that away. $89.95 minus the $17.99. And that gives me that she's selling them for $71.96. Okay, so that's what she's selling them for. We can think of this nearly as her new selling price. Okay, to find the profit now, we take it away from the original cost that we had at the start, which we worked out as €50. So she gets a profit of $21.96 on these ones. So it's taken a fair hit to her profit there, actually. And she sold 3 sets at this price. So we multiply that by 3, and this is her profit, $65.88. Okay, so those are our 2 profits here. So the $65.88 is from the discounted price. The $878.90 is from the original price. So total profit. So my total profit would be from adding those together. So the $878.90 plus the $65.88. And I get $944.78. Okay, then over to the side here, let's just work out. So percentage profit is, we should remember it's the profit, so the $944.78 over the total original price. And the original cost of buying all of these was $1,250. That was what we worked out at the start that it cost her to buy them in the first place. We want it as a percentage, so multiply by 100. And we type that into our calculator to get it as a percentage, and she has made a profit of 75.58%. It's not bad. Okay, so profit of 75, near enough 76%. Are we asked to give it in a particular form? Find her markup percentage as profit as a percentage of cost price on the total transaction. So we're not actually asked to give it in terms of any particular decimal places or anything like that. So what we have is probably perfect. We might round it up maybe to 76 as well. So 76% altogether. Okay, but I would give both of those. I'd give the 75.58 and then give the 76 if you want to. Okay, let's look at one more example here. There's one more, yeah. On the percentage error, yeah. So exam question. A salesman earns a basic salary of €150 per week. In addition, he gets commission of 20% on sales up to the value of 1,000 in the week and 30% on commission on any sales above this. Find his total income, and then we're given a different week and we have to find his total sales. So let's break this down a bit. Let's work out what we've been told. Basic salary, €150 per week. Okay, so any week gets €150. So let's put that down. So basic salary. So he's always going to get €150. Okay. In addition, this is going to be our key part. 20% commission on sales up to 1,000 and 30% on any sales above that. So what sales did we have? We had 3,000. Okay, so looking at my sales, if I have 3,000 in sales, for the first 1,000, he'll get 20% commission. Okay, so 1,000 by 20% gives me a value of, he gets €200. For anything over that, which is 2,000, he gets 30% commission. So 30% commission. And that gives me a value of 600. So €800 will be the total commission. Okay, so €800 is my total commission. So his total income is €150 basic plus his €800 commission, which gives me €900. That's his total income for the week. So on a different week, his total income is 1,160. Find his total sales for this week. Okay, so first of all, we can see that the income this week that we're looking at now in part B, more than what he had in the first one. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's do the same idea. The basic salary is €150. If we look at the previous part, basic salary €150, makes sales. For the first 1,000 of the sales, he gets a commission of 20%, so that's €200. For anything above that, it's commission of 30%, and that's my €600. In terms of what we have in the first part, still going to get this, and still going to get this part. The part that's confusing us, so the part that we have to look for, is going to be this part here. How much sales did he make that was over that first 1,000? We know that he did make some sales because the overall income is bigger than we had in the first part. And in the first part, he had made some sales at that 30% rate. So let's take away the things that we do know. So the total income is 1,160. We know that he definitely got that basic salary of €150. Okay, that was the one we had in yellow at the top. Definitely got that. So let's take that away. We also know that he definitely had some sales at that first commission rate. That was the rate of 20%. And we know that that's 200 here. Okay, we know that that gives him €200. So breaking those down, or taking those away from the value that we have here, we get €810. And that has to represent the commission that he got at 30%. So what that means is that 30% of these sales would be €810. So let's find 1%. 27, 100 then, 2,700. So 2,700 was the sales that he made at 30%. We have to add on the 1,000 because that's the original sales at that 20%. So that means that he made a total of 3,700. Those were his total sales. So kind of working backwards here a little bit. So we're seeing that that yellow part, the basic salary, always included. If he's made some sales, up to 1,000 will be at that 20%, and that's the €200 we've worked out. So that obviously was included as well. What was left over, the €810, that had to come from somewhere, and it must have come from commission on sales over that 1,000. And that means that the €810 represents 30% of these extra sales. So the extra sales was 2,700. The original, the kind of first level was the 1,000. So altogether, the sales were 3,700. So those were his total sales. Okay, and that's this part. That's this part here. So total sales, 3,700. Okay, keeping us rolling. Okay, we haven't too much left. Look, we haven't too much to go. Percentage error. So when we're doing calculations, we can make mistakes. Okay, that's natural enough. I'd say we'll see me make plenty of mistakes. So when we do, we want to calculate kind of how bad is our mistake. Okay, what percentage are we talking? Are we talking a really bad, 90%? You were 90% off. We want to be obviously the small. Yeah, and generally your errors will be fairly, fairly small in these questions. So what we want to do is we take our error and we want to write it as a percentage. And you can think of this really as being the same as your percentage profit, percentage loss. It's the same idea. And in the same way, we take profit or loss, or we take error to be positive. Okay, we don't say, well, you were off, you were under it, or you were over it. Okay, you're still just wrong. Okay, so we just take the error to be positive. So if I measure the length of a table using a ruler and I get a value of 120 centimeters, and after measuring I realize that my ruler was misaligned and the actual length of the table is 125, find my percentage error. So the actual value was 125, what I got was 120, so 5 centimeters is my error. To get percentage error, I take my error that I got, which is 5, and I put it over the actual value. So this is where it kind of differs from those percentage profit and loss ones, because instead of putting it over what I thought it was originally, I put it over the actual value to see how wrong was I, and I was actually 4% off. So we don't take the whole thing that you measured, we take how wrong were you, what was your error, what mistake did you have, and then put it over the total amount and see, well, how far were you off? What kind of percentage are we talking? So what we had done was about 4% off the total, the actual value. So we weren't that far off really. And that's kind of what you'd want to see. And this can come up in kind of experiments and questions and around things like that, where you're calculating different things and maybe there is room for error. And they might ask you, well, how much of a mistake did you make? What was your percentage error? So with these percentages ones, it's important to be able to do obviously percentage error there. Things like we saw in those exam questions, they're working out percentage profit, working out percentage on sales, commission, okay, percentage markup. All of these things, different words, but the method and the working of them out is kind of the same across the board. Working out VAT, okay, working backwards, that was one that we saw a good few times. And really, it's following those steps we laid out at the start, these steps here. Identify what percentage the amount in the question represents. That is your key. That is always your start for every single one of these questions. What do I have? What percentage is that? If you know that, then you can work with it. You can move it, you can rearrange it, you can divide, you can multiply, you can make it work for whatever the question is, but you have to know what percentage you have in the first place. That's kind of the key thing then to solving the rest of them.